The love that taught me to leave. Chapter 1. The painting and the ghosts of the present. I returned to the house in the village today, after years of wandering the world beyond its quiet borders. The car's engine sighed its final breath as it caught the ignition, and stepping across the threshold through a veil of fine dust that hung in the air like forgotten memories, the first thing that struck me wasn't the stale scent of aged wood seeping from the walls, nor the mournful creak of floorboards beneath my weathered boots. It was the painting. There it hung, mounted on the dining room wall like an eternal sentinel, defiant against the relentless march of time. White peonies, vast and unguarded, their petals unfurled in utter vulnerability against an abyss of deep black, touched only by the faint caress of green leaves that seemed to offer illusory tenderness. I hadn't chosen it myself. Perhaps it arrived with some long-forgotten family inheritance. But it had always known how to whisper uncomfortable truths to me. Those flowers were me back then, exposed, whole, defenseless. Beautiful in their way, but perilously fragile. And as I stood before it now, the late afternoon sun slipping through cracks in the shutters like hesitant fingers, everything came rushing back in a torrent. The year the world stopped. The pandemic. Her. The love that wasn't meant to stay, but taught me how to leave. That year, the globe ground to a halt, forcing us back to the village, this hushed corner of the earth where streets narrow like veins long forgotten, and whispers travel swifter than the wind through the coffee groves. I was 22, shaped by a life of monastic routines far from the city's clamor. Dawn gym sessions where iron weights sculpted my body with unyielding discipline, online university lectures that burned my eyes until midnight, sparse dinners followed by deep sleep before 10 to steel myself for another ordered day. Untouched by romance, my days formed a solitary fortress against the chaos I watched devour others. I shunned parties. Alcohol and smoke struck me as poisons for the soul, distractions from the quiet strength I built in silence. Yet the pandemic breached even my walls. It began by chance, a meeting woven by invisible threads of fate. One afternoon after the gym, muscles still burning and t-shirt clinging to my sweat-slicked torso, I slipped alone into an empty village restaurant. Lockdown had scared off the patrons, tables stood barren, chairs upturned like surrendered soldiers, the air still save for the lazy hum of a ceiling fan stirring ghosts. She was there, working as a waitress, wiping counters with fluid grace that betrayed a pent-up energy. Our eyes met for the first time in person, though months earlier we'd traded fleeting messages on Instagram, casual comments on my fitness routine photos, her replies laced with fire emojis and veiled invitations. "Come by any time," she typed once. We hadn't planned it, pure coincidence drew me there that afternoon. The deserted space gifted us room to breathe, to speak. She approached with a smile that pierced the gloom, "What'll it be, Jim boy, I ordered a protein shake and grilled chicken, and instead of vanishing into the kitchen, she slid onto the chair opposite me at the neighboring table. We talked as if time itself had paused alongside us. She hailed from a wild urban life, black eyes that devoured the room, laughter ringing like distant thunder, curves moving with the assurance of someone who wielded her presence like a blade. Her past seeped through in half-confessions, prostitution in shadowy city nightclubs to fund excesses, drugs that revved her pulse like overheating engines, a raucous existence unbound by ties or regrets. I, green as spring grass in matters of the heart, mistook her wildfire for destiny's spark, hours unfolded in conversation, her tales of endless rooftop parties and fleeting lovers discarded like spent matches, my shy dreams of stability and a body honed in isolation. Her breath brushed the space between us, cheap perfume mingling with the lemon tang of sanitizer. From that empty restaurant bloomed our strange orbit. Days later came impromptu walks through coffee plantation paths at dusk, stolen kisses by the river where water murmured ancient secrets, damp earth and sweat merging in novel ecstasy. The village, with its invisible web of gossip, noted our pull. Pandemic isolation magnified every touch, every glance, time stretched thin, emotions raw and oversized. But cracks glimmered early, her unexplained absences, vague nods to friends from late-night messages she didn't fully hide. Laughter with strangers reached my ears through third parties, faint echoes that stirred unease. Back home, the painting watched from its perch, white petals splayed like my budding heart, open, inviting whatever storm might come. Nights found me lingering before it, tracing the delicate veins in those blooms, wondering at their fearless exposure. The village hummed with our story, the disciplined gym boy and the fiery outsider, locked in lockdown's strange alchemy. We shared sunsets on rickety porches, her head on my shoulder as stars pricked the sky, her stories painting vivid pictures of neon-lit chaos I'd never known. I confessed my fears of invisibility, the ache of untouched years. She laughed it off, pulling me closer, her warmth a balm against my rigid world. Yet doubt flickered like shadows at candle's edge. One evening, post-walk, her phone buzzed incessantly, names I didn't recognize, replies typed with hurried thumbs. Just friends from the city, she'd say, eyes darting, The pandemic's grip tightened the village, curfews, masked faces, a hunger for connection that made her intensity feel like salvation. We met in hidden groves, bodies entwined under canopies of leaves, her nails raking my back as if marking territory. Sweat slick and breathless, I'd whisper dreams of us building something lasting. She'd murmur agreements that dissolved by morning. The painting became my silent confessor. In its glow, those peonies mirrored my slow unfolding, petals parting without armor, risking wilt for one moment of full bloom. Village tongues wagged. He's changing, that quiet one, staying out late now. My routines frayed at the edges, a missed gym session here, a late-night scroll through her enigmatic posts there. Her world seduced, chaotic and alive, pulling me from my shell. We laughed over street food under flickering bulbs, her hand in mine as rain pattered tin roofs, stories flowing like untamed rivers. But the fissures widened subtly. A canceled meetup, blame on family stuff, a scent of unfamiliar cologne on her shirt after a solo errand, I'd push it down, chalk it to paranoia, her fire too intoxicating to question. Pandemic days blurred, empty streets, shared meals in dim kitchens, her body against mine chasing away the world's silence. She spoke of escape plans, eyes alight with urban hunger. I nodded, envisioning us together, blind to the solo path she traced. One night, after a riverside walk where fireflies danced like errant stars, we lay on a blanket under the moon's indifferent gaze. Her fingers traced my chest. You're too good for this place, she said, voice soft with something like longing. I believed her, let her words sink into my skin like ink. But as she scrolled her phone, a notification lit her face, a man's name, a heart emoji. She dismissed it with a laugh, but the seed of doubt took root. Weeks turned to a haze of stolen moments. Gym time dwindled, her texts pulled me out at odd hours. We'd drive dirt roads and borrowed trucks, windows down, her playlist blasting reggaeton that vibrated through my bones. She'd lean over, lips brushing my ear, live a little, gym boy. And I did, abandoning push-ups for her pull. The painting loomed larger in memory now, Its Peonies a prophecy of exposure. Village eyes followed, nods at the market turned knowing smirks. My mother asked once, brow furrowed, that girl, she's trouble? I brushed it off, defensive, hooked. Yet alone, doubts gnawed. I'd stare at the canvas, petals gleaming under lamplight, why did beauty demand such risk? Her absences grew, helping a friend, she'd text at 2 a.m. I'd wait, heart pounding, convincing myself it was nothing. Pandemic solitude amplified it all, no distractions, just her orbit and the growing shadow within. Standing before the painting today, dust motes dancing in sunbeams, I see it clear, those peonies didn't warn me, they embodied me. Open-hearted in a storm's path, their beauty a fleeting lesson, that restaurant encounter, random as a leaf on wind, planted the seed of a love not built to endure. It cracked my walls, taught vulnerability's cost, and set the stage for the inferno ahead. The ghosts of that year linger in every petal's curve, whispering that some flames forge, even as they scar. Chapter 3: Broken Boundaries and False Exclusivity. Standing before the painting now, its white peonies gazing back with that eternal, vulnerable openness, I relive the moment I first drew a line in the sand, the night of the torrential downpour that hammered the tin roof like 1,000 accusing fingers. Backpack slung over my shoulder, voice cracking under the weight of my own unraveling, I faced her in the dim kitchen light. We need to walk away from this. It's killing me. It was my first true boundary, a raw act of self-empathy that tore through me like childbirth, pain birthing clarity. She bolted out into the deluge, soaked to the bone, black strands plastered to her face like seaweed from some tempestuous sea, wait. Let's be exclusive, just you and me. I swear it. No one else. Please tumbled from her rain-slicked lips, her eyes wide with a fear of abandonment that mirrored my own hidden terrors. Exhausted, clinging to a threadbare hope, I relented. But shadows already devoured the horizon. What followed were 7 months of an emotional roller coaster, a brutal dissection of ecstasy and abyss that I unpack now petal by petal, scene by searing scene. Golden days came first, illusions of paradise, romantic strolls through coffee groves heavy with scent, late sun gilding whispered promises, picnics of hot arepas and fresh Lilo juice spread on threadbare blankets. She'd swear she'd left her old life behind for me, you saved me from that darkness. Her hand in mine felt like salvation, her laughter a melody chasing away the pandemic's gray pall. We'd lie in meadows, clouds drifting like unspoken dreams, her fingers tracing patterns on my arm as she spun visions of a shared future, cities we'd conquer together, nights without ghosts. But the infernal nights crashed in without mercy. Jealousy erupted in screams that woke the entire village, plates shattering against walls like fragile vows, reconciliations forged in frantic, flesh-hungry sex where bodies vended in suppurating wounds. I'd catch whiffs of unfamiliar scents on her skin after innocent walks with friends, musky cologne that wasn't mine, faint traces of smoke from places I didn't know. Her phone became a Pandora's box, furtive messages lighting the screen at odd hours. Come over now, I need you sent to shadows whose names I didn't recognize. She'd snatch it away, eyes flashing, you're paranoid. It's nothing. But the poison seeped deeper, staining every touch. Then came the role reversal, cunning as a fox slipping its trap. One evening after a particularly venomous fight, tears streaming down her face as rain pattered outside, she flipped the script. Let's be official boyfriend and girlfriend, like you always wanted at the start. Her voice trembled with calculated vulnerability, pulling at the threads of my deepest insecurity. I'm not handsome enough, not worthy. No one else would ever put up with me. I accepted, sealing it with a kiss that tasted of desperation and delusion, convincing myself this was the turning point. Emotions ruled us like tyrants unbound. My terror of the void, of eternal aloneness, paralyzed me at every crossroads. Her affection doled out in measured doses hooked me like the finest narcotic, peaks of bliss plummeting into valleys that dragged my spirit through mud. We'd cycle through it endlessly, explosive arguments where I'd roar lies on top of lies, her sobbing back, "You're a distrustful paranoiac." Mornings of feigned peace over steaming coffee in cluttered kitchens, hands clasped in fragile illusion, desperate sex that postponed the inevitable collapse by mere hours. I longed to end it 1,000 times, fists clenched in the dead of night, but the abyss of solitude loomed larger than her chaos. Visions of empty days, untouched beds, a life without her fire, even if it burned. The painting bore witness to every crisis, a mute oracle in my family's dim living room. I'd stumble home after Rose, collapse before it, staring at those sullied white petals, symbols of purity violated, vulnerability preyed upon by careless winds, village gossip swirled mercilessly, that love is destroying them both. Look how gaunt they've grown. Neighbors' sidelong glances at the market turned to pitying shakes of heads. My routines, once ironclad, lay in tatters. Gym sessions skipped for her summons, studies abandoned for midnight drives down rutted roads, her texts yanking me from sleep like puppet strings. One endless night stands vivid. We'd fought over a late return, her shirt carrying that alien scent again. Words escalated to hurled mugs, shards skittering across tile like broken trust. She stormed out. I paced, heart hammering, hours later, she crept back, eyes red-rimmed, collapsing into my arms with whispers of "I can't lose you." We tumbled into bed, bodies colliding in a frenzy that masked the rot beneath. Dawn brought temporary truce, breakfast shared in silence, her foot nudging mine under the table, a ghost of intimacy. But by noon, the cycle spun anew, a dodged question about her phone, my voice rising, her deflection sharp as glass. Deeper fissures revealed themselves in quiet moments. We'd walk the riverbank at twilight, fireflies winking like false hopes, and she'd drift into reveries of her past glories. Club nights where money flowed like water, men who adored then discarded her. "You're different," she'd say, squeezing my hand, but her eyes betrayed a restlessness, a hunger my stability couldn't sate. I'd probe gently, "Those messages, who are they from?" Laughter, deflection, old nothing. "Forget it." Insecurity gnawed. Was I enough? Handsome enough? Thrilling enough to hold her? Pandemic isolation amplified the madness. No escapes, no buffers, just us in a pressure cooker of desire and doubt. Village life closed in, empty streets echoing our shouts, market stalls where whispers followed, "He's lost himself in her." My body softened, muscles yielding to stress, mirrors showed hollow cheeks, eyes shadowed. Yet her pull persisted, a moth to her flame. Empathy for my shattered self began to stir amid the wreckage. Staying out of fear was slow suicide. Healthy bonds demand boundaries forged in steel, not petals destined to bruise. She had chats with masterful sleight. I swallowed toxin day by day. Were consumed us utterly, my soul in ruins at the precipice, her fire guttering into acrid smoke. Months blurred into a fever dream. One balmy evening, post-picnic idle, we lounged on her porch swing, stars emerging like hesitant witnesses. Her head on my lap, fingers idly stroking my thigh. "This could be forever," she murmured. I believed, clung to it. But midnight brought a call she silenced too quickly, voice hushed in the next room. Eavesdropping, heart pounding, fragments, not now, yeah, soon. Confrontation ignited, accusations flew, doors slammed. Reconciliation in tears and tangled sheets, cycle unbroken. The painting loomed in every aftermath, peonies mocking my repeated openings, village elders clucked tongues at church steps, young love's fire burns hot, but mark my words. Mother's worried glances over dinner, son, guard your heart. I'd nod, defensive, ensnared. Holidays strained the farce, family gatherings were her charm dazzled aunts, but under-table kicks signaled brewing storms. Christmas Eve, gifts exchanged by candlelight, her necklace glinting as we kissed under mistletoe, New Year's brought countdowns marred by suspicion, fireworks masking inner explosions. Spring thawed no ice between us. Blooms mirrored the canvas, her affections wilted post-bloom. A weekend getaway to hot springs, steam-shrouded bliss, bodies slick in mineral waters, promises renewed, back home, old patterns resurfaced. Her girl's night extended to dawn, my texts unanswered till noon. Self-doubt festered, am I the problem? Jim abandoned fully now, reflection showing a stranger, softer jaw, weary eyes. Friends drifted, you're not you anymore. Isolation deepened, her world my sole orbit. Yet glimmers of resolve flickered. One dawn, post-fight flight to the painting, petals steady, unbowed. Enough, I whispered. But evening pulled me back, her apologetic feast, laughter flowing, bed welcoming. Summer peaked the torment, village festival, her dancing with old pals, my sidelined rage boiling. Home explosion, who was that? Tears, accusations, makeup sex under stars, truce fragile as dew. Autumn winds carried omens. Cooler nights, her warmth scarcer. Phone audits became ritual, deleted threads, evasive logs. Trust me, she'd plead, I tried, fractured. Winter circled back, pandemic fading but our poison entrenched. Holiday lights mocked our dimming flame. New Year's toast, to us. Hollow clink. The painting endured, petals eternal, empathy crystallized slowly, fear-bound staying betrayed the core, true love erects walls of mutual honor, not illusions, her concealment's masterful, my ingestion daily. Exhaustion absolute, spirit guttered, inferno hers reduced to embers. Through it all, the village watched, pitying nods, averted eyes. My transformation noted, from pillar of discipline to her haunted echo. Yet in stolen sane moments, resolve hardened, the boundary I'd drawn that rainy night was just the first cut, deeper surgery loomed. That false exclusivity was no haven, but a prettier cage. Peonies taught, openness invites not just light, but gales that strip bare. Those 7 months? The forge's hottest breath, hammering weakness into wary strength. Chapter 3, Broken Boundaries and False Exclusivity. Standing before the painting now, its white peonies gazing back with that eternal, vulnerable openness, I relive the moment I first drew a line in the sand, the night of the torrential downpour that hammered the tin roof like 1,000 accusing fingers, relentless and unforgiving. Backpack slung over my shoulder, soaked clothes clinging to my skin like second thoughts, voice cracking under the weight of my own unraveling, I faced her in the dim kitchen light, shadows dancing across her face from the single bulb swinging overhead. We need to walk away from this. It's killing me. It was my first true boundary, a raw act of self-empathy that tore through me like childbirth, pain birthing a fragile clarity amid the storm. She bolted out into the deluge without a word at first, then spun back, soaked to the bone, black strands plastered to her face like seaweed from some tempestuous sea. Wait. Let's be exclusive, just you and me. I swear it. No one else. Please tumbled from her rain-slicked lips, her eyes wide with a fear of abandonment that mirrored my own hidden terrors, hands clutching my shirt as water pooled at our feet. Exhausted, heart pounding with a mix of relief and longing, clinging to a threadbare hope, I relented. But even then, shadows already devoured the horizon, faint and insidious. What followed were 7 months of an emotional roller coaster, a brutal dissection of ecstasy and abyss that I unpack now petal by petal, scene by searing scene, memory by memory, Golden days came first, illusions of paradise carefully constructed to mask the cracks beneath. Romantic strolls through coffee groves heavy with earthy scent, late sun gilding whispered promises as we wandered hand in hand, feet crunching fallen leaves, her laughter echoing like birdsong through the canopy. Picnics spread on threadbare blankets, hot arepas steaming in the humid air, fresh Lilo juice tar on her tongues, her head resting on my lap as clouds drifted above like unspoken dreams. She'd swear she'd left her old life behind for me, you saved me from that darkness, from the nights that swallowed me whole. Her hand in mine felt like salvation then, her laughter a melody chasing away the pandemic's gray pall, moments where time suspended and the world narrowed to just us two. We'd lie in meadows after those walks, wildflowers brushing our skin, her fingers tracing lazy patterns on my arm as she spun visions of a shared future, cities we'd conquer side by side, nights free of ghosts, mornings waking to each other without the weight of secrets. Imagine it, she'd say, eyes sparkling, you building our home, me cooking those healthy meals you love. I'd nod, lost in the picture, my structured world bending to accommodate her chaos, believing her words could reshape reality. But the infernal nights crashed in without mercy, shattering the fragile idols like glass underfoot. Jealousy erupted in screams that woke the entire village, plates shattering against walls like vows trampled underfoot, shards skittering across tile floors in chaotic patterns that mirrored our bond. Reconciliations forged in frantic, flesh-hungry sex where bodies vended suppurating wounds, sweat mingling with tears, gasps drowning out the accusations that lingered in the air. I'd catch whiffs of unfamiliar scents on her skin after innocent walks with friends, musky cologne that wasn't mine, faint traces of smoke from places I didn't know, perfume notes that clashed with her usual cheap floral. Her phone became a Pandora's box of temptation, furtive messages lighting the screen at odd hours. Come over now, I need you sent to shadows whose names I didn't recognize, thumbs flying across the keyboard when she thought I wasn't looking. She'd snatch it away with a flash of eyes, you're paranoid. It's nothing. Just old acquaintances. But the poison seeped deeper, staining every touch, every glance, turning caresses into questions. Nights I'd lie awake beside her sleeping form, her chest rising and falling peacefully while my mind raced through scenarios. Who held that phone before me? Whose laughter echoed in those deleted threads? Then came the role reversal, cunning as a fox slipping its trap, one evening after a particularly venomous fight, her shirt carrying that alien scent again, words escalating from whispers to roars, tears streaming down her face as rain pattered outside like mocking applause. She flipped the script with devastating precision. Let's be official boyfriend and girlfriend, like you always wanted at the start. Her voice trembled with calculated vulnerability, pulling at the threads of my deepest insecurity. I'm not handsome enough, not worthy enough. No one else would ever put up with me, would they? I accepted, sealing it with a kiss that tasted of desperation and delusion, convincing myself this was the turning point, the moment we'd turn the corner into something real. Her arms around me felt like chains gilded in gold, comforting yet confining. Emotions ruled us like tyrants unbound, despots enthroned in our chests. My terror of the void, of eternal aloneness stretching into infinity, paralyzed me at every crossroads where escape beckoned. Her affection doled out in measured doses hooked me like the finest narcotic, peaks of bliss plummeting into valleys that dragged my spirit through mud, leaving me gasping for air. We'd cycle through it endlessly, a vicious carousel, explosive arguments where I'd roar lies on top of lies, every day. Her sobbing back, "You're a distrustful paranoiac, you'll ruin us." Mornings of feigned peace over steaming coffee in cluttered kitchens, hands clasped across the table in fragile illusion, the aroma of fresh brew masking the rot, desperate sex that postponed the inevitable collapse by mere hours, bodies colliding as if friction could fuse our fractures. I longed to end it 1,000 times, fists clenched in the dead of night staring at the ceiling cracks like maps of my breaking point, but the abyss of solitude loomed larger than her chaos, visions of empty days stretching forever, untouched beds cold as winter stone, a life without her fire, even if it scorched me raw, friends who once texted faded away, my world shrinking to her gravitational pull. The painting bore witness to every crisis, a mute oracle in my family's dim living room, its glow under lamplight a beacon in the dark hours. I'd stumble home after Rose, collapse before it on knees that buckled, staring at those sullied white petals, symbols of purity violated, vulnerability preyed upon by careless winds, village gossip swirled mercilessly outside the windows, that love is destroying them both. Look how gaunt they've grown, shadows of themselves. Neighbors' sidelong glances at the market turned to pitying shakes of heads, whispers trailing me like smoke, poor boy, lost in her storm. My routines, once ironclad fortresses, lay in tatters around me, gym sessions skipped for her sudden summons at midnight, studies abandoned for endless drives down rutted roads with her playlist blasting defiance through the speakers, her texts yanking me from half-sleep like puppet strings jerked by an unseen hand. Body softening day by day, muscles yielding to chronic stress, mirrors reflecting hollow cheeks and shadowed eyes that barely recognized the disciplined boy who'd once stared back. One endless night stands vivid above the rest, etched in acid. We'd fought over yet another late return, her shirt reeking of that alien cologne, words escalating from tense murmurs to hurled mugs that exploded against the wall in a spray of ceramic shards skittering across tile like broken trust made tangible. She stormed out into the humid night, doors slamming like thunder. I paced the small room, heart hammering against my ribs like a caged animal, Hours later, she crept back, eyes red-rimmed from crying or something else, collapsing into my arms with broken whispers of "I can't lose you, you're all I have now." We tumbled into bed in a frenzy, bodies colliding with bruising urgency, her nails digging crescents into my shoulders as if anchoring herself, gasps and moans weaving a temporary truce that masked the festering rot beneath our skin. Dawn brought a hollow peace, breakfast shared in heavy silence, her foot nudging mine under the scarred wooden table, a ghost of intimacy flickering before vanishing. By noon, the cycle spun anew, a dodged question about who she'd seen the night before, my voice rising in pitch, her deflection sharp as shattered glass, "Let it go, you're imagining things again." Deeper fissures revealed themselves in the quietest moments, when words failed and truths floated unspoken. We'd walk the riverbank at twilight, fireflies winking like false hopes in the gathering dusk, and she'd drift into reveries of her past glories. Club nights where money flowed like water from faceless admirers. Men who adored her fiercely then discarded her like yesterday's thrill. "You're different," she'd say, squeezing my hand with what felt like sincerity, but her eyes betrayed a restlessness, a hunger my steady stability could never fully sate, a wildness that chafed against my ordered world. I'd probe gently, voice tentative. "Those messages lighting up your phone at 2 a.m., who are they from really?" Laughter light but edged, deflection swift, old nothings from the city life. "Forget them, they're ghosts." Insecurity gnawed at my core like termites in old wood. Was I enough? Handsome enough to hold her gaze? Thrilling enough to eclipse her neon memories? Mirrors became enemies, reflecting a man fraying at the seams, jawline softening, fire dimming in eyes once sharp with purpose. Pandemic isolation amplified the madness to operatic heights. No escapes to friends or cities. No buffers against the pressure cooker of our shared space. Just us two in a village that closed in like tightening walls. Empty streets echoing our midnight shouts. Market stalls where whispers followed me like persistent fog. He's not himself anymore, that quiet gym boy swallowed by her whirlwind. Village life documented our decline. Elders clucking tongues on church steps after Sunday Mass. Young love's fire burns hot, but it'll leave ashes if you're not careful. My mother's worried glances over sparse dinners, her voice soft but probing. "Son, guard your heart before it's too late." I've seen that look in men's eyes before. I'd nod curtly, defensive walls rising, too ensnared to heed. Holidays strained the farce to breaking. Family gatherings were charmed dazzled aunts and uncles with stories polished bright, laughter ringing genuine for hours, but under-table kicks signaling brewing storms, tension coiling like springs. Christmas Eve unfolded in candlelit warmth, gifts exchanged by firelight, her necklace I'd saved for weeks glinting as we kissed under hand-tied mistletoe, illusions intact for one holy night, New Year's brought countdowns marred by simmering suspicion, fireworks exploding outside masking the inner detonations, champagne toasts slurring into accusations by 2 a.m. Spring thawed no ice between us, only deepened the chill. Blooms everywhere mirrored the canvas in cruel parody, her affections wilted post their brief flare, promises drooping like overripe fruit. A weekend getaway to nearby hot springs offered false reprieve, steam-shrouded bliss enveloping us, bodies slick in mineral-rich waters under canopy of palms, whispered vows renewed in the haze, this is us forever. Back in the village reality by Sunday night, old patterns resurfaced like weeds through pavement, her girls' night out mysteriously extending to dawn, my frantic texts stacking unanswered until noon, explanations thin as mist. Self-doubt festered into a constant companion. Am I the problem here? Too rigid, too boring for her wild heart? Jim abandoned fully now, reflection in the bathroom mirror showing a stranger, softer jaw where definition once cut sharp, weary eyes ringed dark, posture slumping under invisible weight. Friends who'd once shared workout tips drifted into silence, occasional texts, "You're not you anymore, man. Wake up." Isolation deepened relentlessly, her gravitational world my soul orbit, pulling tighter with every cycle. Yet glimmers of resolve flickered like distant stars in the emotional night. One dawn after fleeing a fresh fight, I'd collapsed before the painting, its petals steady, unbowed by time or tempest. "Enough," I'd whisper to the canvas, fists clenched against thighs. But evening inevitably pulled me back, her apologetic feast waiting on the table, laughter flowing like balm, her bed welcoming with open arms, cycle unbroken, resolve dissolving in her embrace. Summer peaked the torment in sweltering heat, village festival pulsing with music and a guardian, her dancing wildly with old pals from who knows where under strong lights, my sidelined rage boiling slow then erupting. Home confrontation thunderous. Who the hell was that guy with his hands all over you? Tears cascading, mutual accusations flying like arrows, makeup sex frantic under the stars on a rooftop blanket, truce fragile as morning dew burning off in sun. Autumn winds carried darker omens, leaves falling like shed illusions. Cooler nights found her warmth scarcer, body curling away in sleep. Phone audits became guilty ritual, deleted threads vanishing like smoke, call logs evasive and sparse. Trust me, please, she'd plead, cupping my face with hands that trembled, I tried, oh how I tried, but fractures spiderwebbed through every facade. Winter circled back inexorably, pandemic's grip loosening on the world but our private poison entrenched deeper than roots. Holiday lights strung across village streets mocked our dimming inner flame. New Year's Eve toast rang hollow, glasses clinking to us, to forever, champagne bubbling false effervescence, countdown leading to a kiss that tasted of finality. Through every season, the painting endured in silent vigil, its petals eternal witnesses, empathy for my shattered younger self crystallized slowly, painfully. Staying bound by fear was nothing less than slow suicide, a betrayal of the core. True love erects walls of mutual honor and respect, not delicate illusions destined to shatter, her concealment's masterful as a magician's sleight, my daily ingestion of toxin grinding me finer each time. Exhaustion consumed us utterly, my spirit guttered low at the precipice of oblivion, her once blazing fire reduced to choking embers and ash. The village chronicled our saga in hushed tones, pitying nods from market vendors, averted eyes from childhood acquaintances, murmurs rippling outward. He was so strong once, now just her echo. My transformation noted by all, from pillar of iron discipline to haunted shadow trailing her whims. Yet in stolen moments of fragile sanity, resolve hardened like cooling steel, the boundary I'd scratched that rainy night marked only the first incision. Deeper surgery awaited, a reckoning with the man the Peonies prophesied. That false exclusivity proved no sanctuary, merely a prettier cage with velvet bars. The painting's Peonies taught through their quiet grace, such openness invites not merely light, but gales that strip one bare to the bone, those 7 months hammered in the forge's hottest breath, weakness beaten relentlessly into wary, tempered strength. The ghosts of those cycles linger still, etched in every curve of petal and shadow, reminding that some loves destroy to rebuild, scar to steal the soul. Chapter 4, The Final Distance. Gazing at the painting now, those white peonies with their petals curled in eternal vulnerability, the memory pulls me into her departure like a riptide, that sun-scorched afternoon when her suitcases lay half-packed across the rumpled bed, clothes spilling out like secrets too heavy to contain. She stood there, hands on hips, eyes alight with a restless hunger that had simmered through our 7 months of chaos. I'm leaving the country. Heading abroad, there's real opportunity waiting, something bigger than this village trap. Her voice carried that familiar edge, half excitement, half challenge, as if daring me to anchor her wild spirit. I didn't stop her. Deep down, I knew this was the end cloaked in the guise of a shared plan, a merciful exit I lacked the courage to voice outright. I'll follow you soon. I lied through a smile that felt like glass cracking in my chest, words tumbling out to smooth the moment, to avoid the raw confrontation that hovered like storm clouds. She bought it, or pretended to, pulling me into a fierce embrace that tasted of finality, her perfume clinging to my shirt like a ghost's farewell. She left that day, Suitcase wheels rumbling down the dirt path towards some distant airport, dreams of reinvention sparkling in her eyes while I counted the kilometers ahead as medicine for forgetting. The silence that followed her arrival abroad hit like a vacuum sealing shut. No voice calls filled with her laughter or complaints about jet lag, no late-night confessions bridging the oceans between us, just sporadic, ice-cold texts pinging my phone at odd hours. Super busy settling the apartment, hunting for work. Talk soon. Excuses stacked like bricks in a prison wall, each one colder than the last, exhausted from unpacking all day, new city chaos, can't breathe yet. Days stretched into a week, then two, my replies growing shorter, laced with the unspoken ache of absence. I'd stare at the screen, thumb hovering over the call button, heart thudding with the fear of rejection or worse, confirmation of what my gut already screamed. The village felt emptier without her shadow crossing my path, streets once alive with our stolen glances now echoing with solitude. My toxic jealousy, that faithful companion through our twisted months, devoured me alive in those early days. Nights dissolved into vigils before glowing screens, fingers trembling as I delved into her social media like a thief in the digital night. Screenshots burned into my retinas, video calls with her ex, their faces filling frames with intimate laughter that pierced deeper than any knife, casual touches on shoulders I never received, inside jokes exchanged with easy familiarity across the miles. Her posts glowed with new life excitement, apartment tours showing sleek furniture and city views I'd never share, captions brimming with emojis of champagne flutes and winking stars. With me? Not a single call, not one I miss your voice slipping through the firewall of her busyness. Notifications mocked me, likes from unfamiliar profiles, stories of nights out that hinted at crowds and clinking glasses, her silhouette blurred in club lights that reeked of her old patterns. Each discovery landed like a gut punch, breath stolen, room spinning. I'd paced the dim house, fists clenched until knuckles whitened, replaying clips and loops that fueled the inferno, her head thrown back in mirth for him, eyes crinkling in ways mine rarely saw anymore. Questions looped endlessly. Was I erased so swiftly? Did our 7 months dissolve into footnotes for her? The pandemic's lingering isolation amplified it all, village nights stretching black and starless, no distractions to blunt the blade. The climax crashed in one sleepless pre-dawn hour, the world beyond my window still cloaked in pre-light gray. Fingers flying across the keyboard, heart shattering into shards that cut with every keystroke, it's over. I can't keep chasing shadows in this lie anymore. Send. The word hung there, irrevocable, a guillotine falling clean. No drafts, no second thoughts. I'd refreshed her profiles enough to know the truth etched in pixels. Blocked numbers across platforms, deleted threads that mocked my hope, purged the digital trail like cauterizing a wound. Relief flooded first, cool and unexpected, washing over the wreckage like rain on parched earth, mingled inextricably with grief's sharp sting, waves of what-ifs crashing against resolve. The village transformed into a spectral husk overnight. Empty streets whispered rumors that reached me through grapevine tendrils, sheets slipped back into old rhythms abroad, prostitution funding her urban adventures once more, excesses flaring like familiar flames. Whispers at the market, heard she's dancing in those city clubs again, same old story. Friends' careful condolences over coffee, you dodged a bullet, man. Mother's quiet relief in shared meals, her hand patting mine, time heals, son. You'll see. But nights brought duels between liberation and loss, dreams of her laugh echoing, waking sweat soaked to silence. Empathetic reflections washed over me in relentless tides during those first weeks. Distance strips away illusions like wind scouring a cliff face, revealing bones beneath the flesh. My digital stalking was the final nail hammered into our toxic coffin, a desperate grasp at control and powerlessness, relief intertwined with mourning like roots beneath soil, one feeding the other's growth. The painting invaded fevered visions, peonies wilting petal by petal in slow motion, beauty surrendering to inevitable fade, alone in the house's creaking quiet. I began subtle reconstruction. First gym return felt like resurrection. Weights heavy as guilt lifted one rep at a time, sweat purging poisons, mirror reflecting tentative strength returning to limbs gone soft. Letting go hurt like flaying skin from bone, layer by excruciating layer, but it saved, the soul emerging scarred yet free, ready to breathe unburdened air. Days blurred into tentative normalcy, morning runs through dew-kissed groves where birdsong drowned memory, studies reclaiming hours once lost to her texts, village nods shifting from pity to respect as color returned to my face. Yet echoes lingered, insidious. A song on the radio, her favorite reggaeton beat, body tensing involuntarily. Market sighting of a girl with similar curves, heart lurching before reason intervened. Dreams vivid and cruel, her face pleading return, waking to empty sheets that no longer smelled of her. Journaling became ritual, pages filled with unfiltered rage, grief cataloged like specimens, gratitude emerging slow for the severance. Village life observed the thaw, market vendors warmer greetings, looking stronger, good to see, friends re-emerging with invites to fish or lift, bonds mending. Mothers cooking tasted of homecoming, conversations deepening beyond surface. Body responded, muscles hardening anew, energy surging, mirror ally once more. Reflections deepened with physical mend, that false exclusivity had been oxygen for flames meant to consume. Distance's gift was clarity, forcing confrontation with patterns I'd enabled. Espionage? Last desperate act of a drowning man clutching straws. Her return to old ways? Validation, not victory, her path hers, mine diverging sharp. Months later, tendrils reached back, mutual acquaintance texts. She asked about you. Curiosity tempted but resolve held, wish her well. Closed chapter. No replies, no peaks, boundaries now muscle memory. The painting anchored these reckonings, Peonies steady sentinels, visions of their wilt taught releases grace, beauty transient yet instructive. Alone but not lonely, reconstruction flowered, gym became temple, studies ladder upward, village community web reknit. Spring brought renewal's promise, coffee blossoms perfuming air, mirroring inner bloom. Runs lengthened, weights climbed, reflection sharpened, jaw reclaiming edge, eyes clearing to steel. Summer sweat forged further, new routines solidified, friends workouts laughter filled, village festivals navigated solo yet whole. Whispers faded, he's back, better than before. Autumn harvest mirrored souls gleaning, lessons distilled, gratitude dominant. Winter's quiet deep in peace, painting viewed not with ache, but reverence. Through every phase, distance proved greatest teacher, miles not just geographic, but emotional chasms bridged by growth. Pandemic's cage sprung open, her flame extinguished not by hate, but indifference earned through fire walking miles. Village chronicled rebirth, nods to the man who walked away, respect earned and silence regained. Mother's pride shone, my strong boy returned. That final distance? Not abandonment, but salvation's road, pain's currency buying wisdom's weight in gold. Peonies prophesied true, Wilt precedes fuller bloom. Ghosts quieted, future beckoned clean. Chapter 5, Flowers Meant to Teach. Here before the painting at last, those white peonies holding their eternal gaze of delicate openness, the full arc of reconstruction unfurls in memory like petals finally freed from winter's grip, a fierce rebirth forged in the silence after her departure. That void she left was no barren wasteland but fertile soil, tilled by absence and watered by resolve. What began as tentative steps blossomed into obsession, a relentless reclaiming of the man her chaos had nearly erased. I threw myself into the gym with redemptive fury, dawn breaking cold as I entered that familiar iron sanctuary, weights that once felt like partners now weapons against the softness she'd wrought. Sessions stretched mercilessly, compound lifts until muscles screamed rebellion, veins bulging like rivers carving stone, sweat pouring in rivers that cleansed deeper than skin. No more half measures, deadlifts climbing from stalled plateaus to personal records that shattered doubt, squats burying me under barbells heavy as regret, bench presses exploding upward as chest reclaimed definition long lost. Protein measured in grams with surgical precision, chicken breasts grilled plain, rice weighed on kitchen scales, greens steaming vibrant, meals became rituals of reforging, fuel for the machine I'd let rust. Studies roared back to life too, books stacking like battlements around my desk late into nights, online lectures devoured with hunger reborn. Engineering texts that once gathered dust now opened to dog-eared pages, formulas dancing into clarity, projects sketched with hands steady from purpose. Professors noticed the resurgence in virtual classes, questions sharp, submissions flawless, that quiet intensity returning to my voice on camera calls. Village whispers shifted from pity to marvel, look at him now, like he rose from ashes. Physically, the transformation accelerated beyond measure, a phoenix sculpted in sweat and steel. Shoulders broadened into caps of power that strained shirt seams, traps rising proud like mountain ridges, arms veined and commanding from endless curls and pull-ups hung from backyard beams. Chest plate armored thick, abs etching visible ridges through skin taut as drum, legs tree trunk solid from lunges that 8 miles of dirt trails. Jawline sharpened to chisel edge, cheekbones standing high, eyes clearing from shadowed doubt to piercing steel that held any gaze without flinch. Mirror became ally once more, reflecting not the haunted echo she'd left but a man magnetic, turning heads in village streets where once invisibility cloaked me. Women who ignored the old me now lingered at markets with smiles and sidelong glances, conversations sparking where silence once ruled, but selectivity ruled my new code. No echoes of chaos, only equals worthy of time. Auto-respect hardened into impenetrable armor, boundaries etched in bedrock. Relationships henceforth only healthy or nothing, mutual elevation or swift exit, zero tolerance for the slightest whiff of toxicity, red flags met with doors closed firm and final. No second chances, no maybe she'll change, patterns recognized from miles away now triggered immediate retreat, self-worth the compass unerring. X's slithered back like shadows lengthening at dusk, her most persistent of all, messages slipping through cracks months later, I've changed completely, miss what we had, come see my new life. Encounters engineered by fate at village edges, her eyes pleading for the weak boy she'd molded, voice honeyed with regret, we were good once, weren't we? Firm rejection flowed natural now, I wish you well, but that's closed forever. Take care. No cruelty, just steel, termination meant severance absolute, contact severed clean as surgeon's cut, no backward glances into traps once escaped. Others circled too, orbiting the new gravitational pull, Village girls with shy invitations to coffee, city friends reconnecting via calls praising the glow-up photos shared sparingly online. You're different, stronger, they'd say, and truly I was. Selective filter keen, conversations probing for balance before investment, walks ending early at first discord. Many approached, drawn to the quiet confidence radiating like steady flame, but only equals earned passage beyond pleasantries, shared values, mutual growth, respect bidirectional or solitude embraced gladly. Mother beamed at family meals, her worry lines softening. My boy returned, whole and shining. Village elders nodded approval at church paths, walked through fire, came out gold. Friends reclaimed workout partnerships, iron clanging in rhythm with laughter reborn, bonds tempered stronger. Yet the deepest revelation crystallized here before the painting in the house now shuddered for departure, that final epiphany striking like purest light-piercing fog. Those peonies embodied me utterly in that doomed love, open wide and defenseless, beautiful and full vulnerability yet never meant for permanence, petals destined to fall not in defeat but instruction profound. That love wasn't crafted to root and endure in my life like oak defying centuries. It was the disguised master, the crucible fire hammering raw or into blade keen and true. Through burns and betrayals, it etched lessons indelible. Self-worth trumps fleeting flame, boundaries are sacred breath, vulnerability wise demands discernment sharp as thorn. I hung the painting back in its place one last time, fingers lingering on gilded frame, gratitude swelling like tide, closed doors and windows with definitive clicks of locks, keys pocketed final. Walked to the car without single backward glance, engine humming to life as dust trail rose behind. For the first time, departure came whole, heart armored not in stone but tempered light, lessons woven into very fiber. Months stretched into seasons of flourishing unchecked. Gym evolved sanctuary to forge, new personal records etched in notebooks, body peaking magnetic, women approaching openly now, conversations flowing but vetted strict. Studies culminated triumph, degrees secured with honors, job offers lighting inbox from firms hungry for disciplined minds. Village life enriched, community projects volunteered, coaching local youth in lifts and life lessons, respect bidirectional flowing free. Travel beckoned next, passports stamped with adventures solo yet fulfilling, mountain treks where summits mirrored inner climbs, beaches where waves washed residual salt, cities explored not chased but savored. Each step reinforced code, healthy connections only, toxicity met with grace but finality swift. Exes persisted sporadically, her texts years on, life's empty without you, met polite closure, others testing waters post-separation glow-ups, deflected with smiles firm. Not my path anymore, became mantra gentle yet granite. Mother's pride swelled gatherings, he learned what matters. Village lore grew, the boy who left the fire wiser. Friends' circles expanded, bonds vetted for balance, laughter genuine untainted. Nature walks deep in reflection, coffee groves whispering growth cycles, rivers carving patient paths mirroring mine. Journal volumes filled, gratitude lists dwarfing pain pages, wisdom distilled for posterity perhaps. Career launched stellar, engineering role abroad blending structure with innovation, colleagues equals in drive, projects thriving under steady hand. Relationships tested sparingly, dates with women grounded, conversations deep from start, endings amicable when mismatch surfaced, no drag into cycles. Years layered strength upon strength. Body honed athlete peak, mind library vast, spirit unassailable. Returns to village ritual, painting visits affirming growth, mother's hugs warmer, community embraces fuller. Love entered anew on terms mine, partner met through work, balance perfect, mutual elevation daily practiced, boundaries honored unspoken. Her fire, distant ember, lesson archived. The painting endures ultimate teacher, Peonies transient glory instructs eternal, some love's transient forge eternal steel. Wilt precedes bloom fuller, scars map strength's terrain. Closing the house that final time, keys turned final, roads stretched open, departed not fleeing but claiming world remade. Emotions once wild now guided gentle by self-love sovereign, that love not meant to be proved greatest guru, disguised in heartbreak's cloak. Free holy, heart armored light wise, lessons soletched, walked forward unburdened, Peonies wisdom trailing like benevolent shadow. That toxic love? Masterclass cruel yet kind, forging from fragile bloom the man unbreakable. Village recedes, future boundless beckons clean.